Trump administration's new SNAP requirements take effect for food stamp recipients. Brandon, this is your story. I'm going to come to you with this one here. Rob, I think you have a video on this one here. The administration's new requirement for nation's largest food aid program went into effect on Monday with the aim of reforming the costly system. Trump's One Big Beautiful Act raised the age limit from 54 to 64 for people who must work, train, or volunteer at least 80 hours a month in qualifying activities to receive assistance from Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, SNAP. The size and scope of SNAP, which supports more than 40 million Americans, came under renewed scrutiny during the government shutdown as funding for the sweeping food assistance program neared a funding lapse. SNAP served an average of 41.7 million participants per month, about 12% of Americans, costing taxpayers roughly $99 billion. The CBO projects the new requirements will reduce the average monthly SNAP recipients by 2.4 million over the next 10 years. The Trump administration has claimed that costs for the benefits have grown out of control due to the growing reliance on the program and fraud within the system. Brandon, your thoughts on this?
So when I was looking at the story, I'm looking at what Trump wanted to do with the requirements and the age change and everything. I'm like, great, awesome. And then when I got to the part that said, we'll only reduce the number of recipients by
2.4 million.
Yeah, over the next 10 years, I'm like, what
over
the hell
10
is that?
years.
Yeah.
So that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
It sounded like a significant change that he was making to it. So I don't see how it's going to only reduce it by that much. Like out of that 41 million, like I think that at least half of it's probably either illegal immigrants who shouldn't be receiving it based on what we saw before, or people who are fraudulently receiving it and kind of abusing the system. Like, it's not a sustainable thing to run a strong country giving away this degree of money. And this $99 billion is a small piece of what entitlement spending is per year. Entitlement spending per year is $3 trillion a year, like I said before. So, like, out of all that, like, that's one of the most disappointing things about Doge, too, is that once Elon started, like, asking questions about Social Security payments to people who are 200 years old and where Medicaid spending is going, that's when he got really nervous and really quiet and backed away from all of it, because I think he had some scary things said to him during that period of time. Because think about it, that's like the biggest slush fund in the history of the world, is that like block of money that gets spent on Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security. So imagine like how dirty that cesspool is when you look into it. But that's what's bankrupting us.
Jeff.
Yeah, you agree. And the other thing is, 2.4 million people over 10 years. That's not a real reduction. That's cosmetic. It's more theater. And again, this is why people are so fed up with us, because their initial reaction to this story is, okay, good. Because we know there's a lot of fraud that takes place in SNAP. We can see it every time we go to Walmart, right? Mm-hmm. And then they come out and say, well, we'll get rid of 2.4 million people out of the 41.7 million. Already you're like, wait, what? Yeah. That's a small percentage. And over 10 years, which means you're going to limit a couple 100,000 people per year. This is either we're being lied to.
What does it tell you, though? But what does it tell you? It tells me something. Mm-hmm. It tells me something.
Exactly what you just said.
No, what it tells.
It's a business.
No. What it tells me is, and maybe it's the same thing you guys are saying, what it tells me is, if it's anything more, it could cost them 2028 and 2026 midterms.
But that's the business. The business is either, politics is about buying votes.
Right, for sure. So to me, ideally, this needs to be what? 5 million a month? 2 million a month? 1 million a month? Instead of 41 million? Mm-hmm. You're building people to rely on the system, right? Yeah. Okay. So, but to remove that, what's that party going to do? What are those videos going to look like? Starving kids, crying videos, and they won't be AI. Going viral, emotional, heartfelt, how cold. You're sitting out there having steak, having foie gras, having sea urchin. I can't even go out there and buy some Campbell's soup where the food is shit based on one of the executives, and you're doing this to me?
Ex-executive.
That's kind of like so they don't want that optics. So they're trying to do it in a very, very subtle way. They're playing politics, in other words. Tom, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yes, I do. And I won't repeat a thing that anybody said. I'll just take you back to Chuck Schumer. And when they started talking about, Chuck Schumer got this little look in his eye, and I remember distinctly he was saying, well, so we want to turn off food for that many... And he was sitting there thinking to himself, that would
smirk,
be
right?
was the evil Schumer smirk. that this would be a gift for the midterms, because if you go after SNAP, you're basically defunding, the graft that's coming to a significant portion of the Democrat voting bloc. And he knew it. And he knew it. And he knows that there's carryover in the independents in the middle, and he knew it. So he knew exactly what he was going to do. And this is Schumer. Basically, what you're saying, Pat, is I dare you to stop the corruption. I will get you at the polls.
I know he will. I know he's
And he was
thinking
saying that.
Yeah.
Question though, so like how many of those
Blatant cruelty and all this stuff. He was just,
Go ahead.
How many of those 41 million are Trump voters? Like where are the votes that are going to be moved if you
It's
do?
not about the 41 million.
Who's it about then?
No. It's how many of the 41 million will influence the 12% of independents to say, I don't think you're
bingo
good. You're going to go the other side. That 42 million, the 41 million influence the 12% independents, which is who you need.
Yeah, and you think their propaganda could be stronger than the propaganda? Yeah. I know.
Do you realize the financial capital of the world just voted for a Muslim mayor from Uganda who is a democratic socialist who set the end in mind? The end vision is what? To seize the means of production.
Yeah.
His words.
Chapter 1, paragraph 1 of the Communist Manifesto.
And he goes and beats you in the city with the most billionaires.
Right.
In the city with the most millionaires. You do that? So to me, they're salivating for Trump to extend this even more. And they're disappointed that the number is only 2.5 million. They were hoping it was 10 million over 2 years. That's what they were hoping for, which they didn't get. New Year's is around the corner. 2026 is going to be here like this. And for us, we had our off-site meeting yesterday at Ritz Fort Lauderdale, which I'll tell you later on. But every year before we get into a new year, we have a long strategy session. Yesterday started at 7:30. We ended at 8:45. The best meeting ever. We've never had a meeting where this many strategies was shared and the plans of what we're doing going into 2026 with all our 9 business units. But the question is, for you going into 2026, how ready you are. A lot of people asking and said, hey, how did this whole thing get started, this whole YouTube thing? Was it accidental? Was it intentional? Was there a strategy behind it? I want you to watch this video, and then you'll see what I'm talking about in regards to December 12th. Go ahead, Rob. So in 2013, we started a YouTube channel called Valuetainment. In the first year, Valuetainment got 167,000 views. That's it. And we were ecstatic. The next 10 years, total, we got 491 million views in 10 years. You know how many we got last year? 1 billion views. You know how many we got last quarter? Last quarter alone, all social media and our YouTube channels combined, YouTube is 700 million. Social is 900 million. Combined, nearly 1.6 billion just last quarter. Why? Because every single year, we would plan for the following year. And I would watch everybody say, well, I don't need this. Every year we would pay to see how we can make our YouTube channel tighter, data, stats, all of that. If you're watching this, you said, man, I want to be able to plan for next year as well. Fantastic. December 12th, I do an event every year called the Business Planning Workshop. If you haven't yet registered, click on our link below, get registered. I'm going to share with you our numbers, what we're going to be doing, and you'll be able to apply it for your business plan as well. I look forward to seeing you there. There you go. Everything comes down to a plan. If you haven't yet registered, December 12th, go to the link below, get registered. Let's spend an entire day together. People from around the world are going to be on. There's going to be tens of thousands of people on. Companies are sitting and watching the whole thing with their employees and their sales team. Go to bpw.bedavidconsulting.com to register or click on the link below. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.